of the camera fills the cavern that you've fallen into. Right as Annie goes to say, I'm tired of thought, and her mouth is covered by Nicole's hand. Because what you all saw in front of that, from that flash of light, was at least 8 of these creatures, all in some sort of sleep-like state. Their wings are brought up and cocooned over them slightly, seemingly not awakened by the cave-in or the previous conversations. Except for one. And this one stands before you, an intelligence in its eyes that evokes fear in the very pit of your stomachs. You all have your flashlights, but it is in this moment, as the camera flashes, that Arabella's flashlight flickers out, and Nick McKay's begins to flicker as well. Still working, but flickering just slightly. This leaves Nicole Mars, Iris, and Nick with the only actual working flashlights. While Margrave has his torch and is still illuminating the massive outline of this creature that stands before you. Those that did not fail their sanity rolls at the beginning of the session, what would you like to do?
I want to check if there's any way we could climb back up. I mean, I see all of this. I realize we're outclassed. There's no way we can live down here. I want to see if I can get back up to that room we were so close to getting into, Garrett.
Okay, that is what Dr. Clark would like to do.
Nick is trying not to poop himself.
Roll poop.
Roll poop, exactly. I think Nick would have the shotgun that Dr. Sanford gave back to me pointed at this thing. He knows that he doesn't want to shoot it to wake up the other ones. He's just holding it there in case he needs to shoot it.
Okay, in what conditions would he shoot it?
If it goes to attack, when that monster thing attacks somebody else and to defend them is when he would shoot it.
Okay, gotcha.
Like at that point it doesn't matter because somebody's gonna bear her. Yeah.
Right. Okay, what about Iris?
Oh man. I have one question first. When I did the camera flash in the dark place, did I notice if the one who's smiling at me got affected by the bright flash of light in their face? Since they're like in front of me? Or are they just like...
It was super quick. I'll say they didn't like visibly like
flinch
move
or anything?
back or anything, but it's hard to know if it actually affected their vision or anything.
All right, and only one option. Draw the sword.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so the shotgun is pointed, the sword, you all hear like the sing of the sword coming out.
And like holding it so like there's at least like, you know, a gap between me and them, just like
fantastic.
Trying not to look terrified.
If I can have everyone's decks in the chat, please.
Every time I see that, Margrave, it hurts my soul.
I have a cane. I've hurt my leg a long time ago.
So is Nick going to fire or still going to wait?
I think he still waits until there's an immediate threat and then he fires.
Okay, so it would be Mr. Margrave. Are you firing or...
Well, I guess if there's no sort of immediate craziness, then if I don't have like that in my brain, then I would probably try to look for an exit. Because I'm looking around. This is the den of lions, basically. You don't want to startle that. That's stupid. So I'd like to, I guess, do a spot hidden if I could.
Sure, and I will have Dr. Clark make a spot hidden as well.
Okay.
And as you are looking around, I will...
Ooh. That is a hard success, 24 under 75.
I have a 66 under 70.
Okay, so there's this flash. Everybody sees this figure standing in front of Iris, and there's a moment where you hear the sword, and there's a second of silence as Mr. Margrave and Dr. Clark begin looking around. Margrave's looking around like the area best that he can with the torch and whatever light beams are going on right now, and Dr. Clark is looking up from where you fell to see if there is any sort of path that you can climb up. And you hear just the slightest little crunch of this creature taking a step. And you can see just the outline basically illuminated by this torch. It puts its arms out, and you see these massive wings stretch out all the way across this cavern, and then it breathes in and it screeches. There's this loud screech that echoes throughout this entire cavern. You hear the shifting of the multiple figures
crap.
all the way around you.
Can I still shoot?
Those of you that had your guns out, I will allow a firearms roll.
Ha-cha-cha.
Where are you shooting?
At the thing's face. No, it's always best to shoot at the chest, I guess.
Okay, I will say this one is illuminated enough, being in close proximity of the lights and the torch, that you are able to see it enough to fire at it. So,
Question about pistol. It says attacks 1(3).
That means you can shoot 3 times, but
it's
2
like
and
that
3 are
increasing-
good. It's like Savage Worlds, I believe. Except I think, Carrie, you were saying that the first
yeah,
shot
your
will be normal.
first one will be fine, and then you'll
2
have a
and 3.
penalty on 2 and 3 if you wanted to
Dope.
fire all 3.
Yeah, I feel like in the moment I would just be like, shit,
Okay.
and fire off as much as I can. Okay, so I missed the second and the third time, but I do hit the first time in
Okay.
extreme. Okay, so that's 15
Nice.
Cool.
damage.
Too bad it's not probably human.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna do crap, but
All right, so you fire. The first one's like, you hear the first one impact. It slams into just this mass of a body. You hear it kind of shift backwards slightly. The wings kind of come in just a little bit, but the other 2 that you're firing, you hear just ring off in the distance. You completely missed. Nick, what's that shotgun roll?
Okay, here we go. Okay, once again, double zeros is 100, right?
no.
Bad
A
one.
good old malfunction right
Oh,
there.
that's a big old malfunction. I got 108 over 25.
No, wait. Hold on.
What?
No.
Oh, no.
0 is nothing, so you got an 8%.
You got
so
8.
8
that's
under 25 then.
Did you both roll 8%?
Yeah.
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 nice.
Nice.
Okay. 10, 15.
Seriously?
Yes.
You
I got
both
15.
rolled an 8%.
A
You
6,
both
a 4, a 3, and a 2. So,
Hell yeah.
There goes all our luck.
What is
Like,
up? Kill the beast! Rah!
All right, so you fire. Like it stops the screeching, but you hear all the shifting from behind you, and you can hear the falling of rocks as these creatures are beginning to climb along various parts of the walls, up wherever the ceilings are, and all 9 of these creatures push in. You're all standing here. You're now flanked. All these creatures are around, and as they push in, I'm going to roll to see who they attack. Okay.
Strong, capable old man. It was strong, my affirmations to myself.
So, as these creatures just swarm in, you hear the shrieking. The shrieking is echoing from various different creatures. It is dark. You see flashlight beams turning to try to see what is going on. The gunshots just went off. This flash of the light has still kind of bothered your eyes a little bit. You're looking around. You hear the creatures. You hear claws ripping into flesh. As, let's see here. Arabella, you are going to lose 3 hit points as you feel one of these claws slam into, like, basically through your shoulder from the back. The claws come out your shoulder on the other side. You let out this, like, involuntary just scream of pain as you look down, and you see as the claws have pierced through, they curled, and they're just holding on to you from the other side. That's one of them, slams into the shoulder, curls the claws, and you feel them just tug you backwards just slightly. Mr. Margrave, you, upon firing at this large one, you see it kind of backing up a little bit, and as it's beginning to disappear into the shadows,
Dark beast!
as it's disappearing, you just turn your head to see one standing directly in front of you. It shrieks and moves in to try to bite you.
I'd like to try. Oh, this is a question. Does the fact that I have a torch, a flame, fire, does that deter them in all, or maybe, like, I don't know, give a bonus to my dodge or something? I don't know. Like, does that deter them in any sort of way?
In a sort of way that it would deter a human.
Okay, so
Like
if I
how fire
put the
burns,
fire
hot.
in between me and the monster, well, I guess, what side is it attacking me on?
Your left.
Aha! That is what I was holding. I'm flipped on you, but gun in right hand. Can I dodge or do something with that flame?
I'll
torch
say.
thing? I'm really trying to bullshit here.
I'll say if
We
you
can tell.
succeed, if you succeed your dodge roll, then maybe that torch will come into play on the next round.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I definitely don't want to do damage. I'm just trying to deter it as
Yeah.
much as I can. Okay, I will try to dodge. I fail. Just 69 over
Nice.
50.
Nice.
The amount of times we've had that number in this chapter, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so as you turn, it just lunges over. You see it actually, like, grab onto your hand with the torch, push it away, and it goes to just bite down right onto your neck. You are also going to lose 3 hit points. As you feel its teeth just sink into your neck and just latch on. And let's see here. Iris,
Yeah.
you have your sword out and kind of just, like, blocking the distance between that big one that was standing in front of you. And as it's kind of backing away and disappearing in the shadows, you hear Mr. Margrave being attacked to your left. You hear something on your right, and you look over and you see one of these creatures, like, lunging at you, coming in for some sort of claw attack. You would be able to attempt to dodge this if you'd like.
Can I instead just stab it?
Sure.
Yes.
I will
Absolutely.
instead stab it.
Okay, make that roll.
All right. Since it's coming at me, is it easier? Do I get?
I'm gonna say since it's trying to attack you as well.
Oh yeah. It would just be fighting back. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I get under 60. Let's go. Nope. I got
No.
a 96. That's a fumble.
Shit.
All right, so
My
here's what happens.
We're getting fucked, everyone.
like
And
Will
this
not be able to-
vampire pit is not going well.
So Iris,
I'm like on guard.
you quickly turn your body to face your sword in the other direction, but it's just leaping way faster than you were expecting, and its leap meets you before you can turn, and you slam your hand against the side of it. You drop your sword.
Yeah.
The sword falls down into the dust, and this creature lands on top of you. We'll say, since that was a fumble too, lands on top of you, knocks you onto your back.
Oh
It
yeah.
is currently pinning you to the ground, and it shrieks and it raises one claw and goes to stab down right into your collarbone.
Oh yeah.
Collarbones!
They love those.
No!
That's rich merchandise. You gotta pay for that.
I don't know if you can see this symbol right here.
I can.
Oh yeah.
Is that a 1 or a 6?
And that symbol right here, I rolled a 1%.
No!
Ah, yeah. It's impale probably too if they're got claw hands, so that's
How many
max
hit points?
damage. And
How many hit points does Iris have?
oh, we got 7 left right now. Out of the 9.
No.
You now have 1.
I have
Oh.
1.
Oh.
Oh, that means I have a major wound. I need to roll to see if
Correct.
I fall unconscious or not. Let's see. Where is
Let's
it?
leave Miss Moneybags here.
Smart.
That took a turn.
Oh, where is the damage thing? Where that? I forget what I have to roll to see if I stay up.
I think it's it might be Constitution.
It might be con. That makes sense.
Yeah, go
I
for
can
it,
roll.
go
I
for
can't. Yeah.
We're all just getting eaten by the raptors.
Holy.
with tall grasses.
I mean, luckily I can't fall down because I'm already on the ground. I succeed by
Okay.
like 10 points.
All right,
So I'm not
yeah,
unconscious as it's.
I'm gonna have you also make a sanity roll for me.
Yeah, man, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta get
Oh my
under
goodness.
58. I did not. I got a 70.
All right.
I'm like, Arabella!
You
I
are
gotta
going,
go!
Who's happening?
Iris!
you're going to lose 2 points of sanity.
Okay, that's not
as
so
you
bad.
you can feel these claws pierce into just directly into your body. You almost feel it like come out the other side and stab into the dirt.
Ooh.
And that is where we are leaving that moment. Now, there is one more person to be attacked. It is either going to be Dr. Clark or it is going to be Nick. And I will roll right now to see which one. It's Nick.
Oh, good.
Huzzah!
Thanks, Bob.
Taking one for the team.
I'm okay.
two
I'm
for the
okay.
team.
I'm okay.
All right, so Nick, you're looking around. You see people just like dropping like flies. There are attacks happening everywhere, and you're just looking around trying to figure out what the best course of action is. You're kind of like moving your shotgun from target to target to target, and then you took your eye off of that big one for just a little bit too long, and as you go to move back, it is standing like directly in your face, lunges with both claws to try to pick you up by the ribcage. You can roll dodge if you'd like.
No.
Yeah, I'll roll dodge. Let's see if I can dodge this guy.
These
You got
vampires
it,
are
Bob.
so rude.
I don't dodge him. I don't dodge him at all.
Great.
Nope.
What's the use of luck if we can't use it in combat?
There was not enough luck. There was not enough.
Ah.
There's not enough luck in this world. Let me ask you, Nick, how many hit points do you have?
I have 10 left.
Okay, then I feel minorly bad about this, but not as bad as I could. feel.
Minorly bad is okay with me.
Yeah,
You
that's a
are
good bad.
going to lose 8 hit points.
Yikes! Yikes!
As
Okay.
you feel each of these claws pierce underneath your ribcage and lift you up, you can taste blood in your throat, and you kind of turn the shotgun probably like right down at this thing. And that is the creature's turn.
Son of a gun.
I don't like it.
Iris,
Ow.
Yeah.
you're up.
Oh.
Go ahead and make a luck roll for me.
Okay. I failed by 8.
All right, what would you like to do?
Well, I currently have, I think I have a flare, I have a camera, a pipe, and my engraved money clip full of money.
Throw some money at it. See if it fixes it.
I don't think this could fix it. She's sadly finding out just now. Money can't fix this.
Would a
Character
20
development.
fix it?
I
She may
think
die, but she'll grow
Keep the
while she
change.
dies.
she is going to pull out her pipe and try to like slam it into like the back of this creature's mouth
Nice.
and just like sort of deal.
Make that roll.
All right. Okay. That is a success. Yay.
Great. What is the max damage on that?
2.
Okay.
because I have a -1 because my build is is -1. So
Gotcha.
I just get 2 damage.
All right, so I rolled a 99 on my dodge. So as
Get
this,
rocked.
you're pinned down to the ground, and you see it looking at you. You see like blood and just saliva just dripping down like onto probably your face. It's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're looking up and you are feeling around. The left roll was to see if your sword landed nearby. Feeling around, can't find your sword, so you just reach over, grab this pipe, slam it upward as this is about to lunge down to like bite into your neck. You can see it just holding on to you. It's about to lunge, and as it lunges, you just shove the pipe up and you watch the pipe slam through its mouth. You feel it pierce, and as it does so, you feel, unfortunately, the claws rip out from your chest
Yeah.
as it stumbles
Collarbone
backwards.
gone. Ah.
Good turn.
Ah.
That's a damn good turn, though.
Can I like? Is it still on me?
No, it has flung backwards, and you see it kind of like struggling with this pipe that's literally jammed into like the back of its throat.
I try to staunch the bleeding.
Yeah, you reach over, and your hand
Like-
slaps down on a pool of blood as you're just holding it. And right now, you are just fighting to try not to black out, basically.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Clark and Arabella.
So nasty. Poor Iris goes to staunch the blood and falls into her own like
Yeah, like,
cavity.
oh,
yeah.
There's
There's
just like
something
nothing
missing
there.
There's nothing to
something
staunch. You're just in.
I think they
No.
pulled the whole bone out, didn't they?
I think
They
that's
pull
the
collarbone out?
the
I thought they
major
ripped-
wound.
You
I
haven't
do
really
have a
had a
major
chance
wound.
to look, but it
Ah.
feels like maybe there's something missing that should be there.
Where's the bone, Gary?
Give me my bones back.
All right, so Dr.
Crazy
Clark,
cape.
what would Dr. Clark like to do? I will say you could probably climb up this debris and wiggle your way up back to that door, but it would definitely take time that you're not entirely sure if you have right this second.
I am going to do the bravest thing and hide.
Yeah.
Do I feel like this is a situation where I could get away and hide from? Is there enough debris, or is there something actively looking at me where it seems like that's not going to happen?
I will say that you have no way of knowing for sure whether or not these creatures need sight to
Okay.
see you. But that being said, there are a lot of, this is going to sound horrible, there are a lot of targets in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you got lucky enough and hid well enough, there's a chance you may be able to hide from these things.
Who is closest to me in terms of like, if I were to speak to someone with free action or like touch them on the shoulder, is there anyone within arm's distance before I hide?
I honestly think you were closest to Annie and Mars.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So I would hopefully tap them without convincing them I'm a vampire.
Full persuasion. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd reach over and as quiet as I can. We need to hide. We need to get out of here. We can't fight these things. And then I'm gonna crawl backwards on all four, look for the nearest rock I can and get behind it and do the beautiful non-cinematic thing of hiding from the danger.
Great, make a stealth roll.
I have a success with a 20 under 50.
Do I dodge out of the way before I lose my marbles, or am I still in the grip of the thing?
I will say, since you still took the damage, I will say it like pierced your shoulder and then tore out as well.
Okay.
So you have a gaping wound here, bleeding, but it is not holding on to you anymore. Just since there was that dodge success, but it just wasn't quite good enough. We'll say that's how it happened.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm somewhat like frozen to the spot, and I just kind of start shouting, It's going down. It's going down. You need to push the button to the left of the rotor, Rory, or we're gonna crash. You need to take care of this, Rory, or we're going down. I think we took damage, Rory. What's going on?
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Wow, damn. Okay, yeah. Nick, you're up.
I still have another round in my shotgun, and I want to shoot this thing that's got a hold of me by the ribs.
Perfect. Go for it.
Okay.
I'll say, no, you took a lot of damage. It's just a regular roll here.
Oh, not good. 62 over 25. So,
Damn it.
All right, so as you pull it up to fire, it just pushes up a little bit further, and you fire on its shoulder, and then just it's hurting. You feel blood starting to trickle from your lips.
Yep.
Mr. Margrave.
Do I have any sort of madness or anything like that currently?
Nothing seems to be affecting you currently. And I will say, as you looked around, you don't see an exit. And if there is, it's just you've got to move closer to the wall to be able to see it. There's not a lot of light spreading, so you do not immediately see an exit. But I will say, as you are glancing around, you do see Annie and Mars duck behind a piece of debris, a piece of boulder.
With my earlier check, this is a very specific thing. Since we fell down, I'm looking to see if there's some other sort of similarly loose debris above that I could perhaps hit and have fall. My plan is to try to lure as many monsters as I can to the spot, get as much attention, and try to hit that thing so it falls on them. And at least, if anything else, try to get the monsters away from everyone. That is my plan. Is that possible?
I will say, from your experience in these caverns, it is very possible to shoot that and make it fall down. The hard part of that plan would definitely be luring them to a specific place. So how would you like to attempt that?
That is the question. I guess since the vampire is like biting me, do I have to wrestle it off of me first, or is it like bite off, gonna bite again? Kind of a situation.
It bit down. I will say it has not let go yet.
Okay, damn. Okay, well, I guess I first have to deal with that to do anything with my plan. So I'm going to, I guess, drop my pistol. And I have the torch in my hand still. I would like to try to burn it off like a tick. And at the same time trying to grab my rifle that's slung over my shoulder. Yeah, what do I have to do do any of that? Like unarmed or something? Or
yeah, we'll do unarmed. It's kind of like a melee sort of situation.
Since it is on me, do I have any sort of like, I don't know, extra die or something? It's very close.
It is very close. I'm gonna say not an extra die, but I'll give you like an extra 20%. Which is what I was gonna give Nick earlier, but he took a lot of damage, so I changed my mind.
Okay. Oh, dope. Glad they got that extra 20%. So I rolled a 66. My unarmed is 50, so I guess it'd be 70 technically now. Or,
okay.
Or whatever. I don't know which way we go. The skill or the under. Yeah.
Either way, same result. So you, looking at all of this, you then just take your torch and just shove it into the torso of this creature. It lets go. You kind of feel like the sucking sensation of like as it's letting go of you, and it stumbles backwards from the flames on its chest, and it's screeching, and you just see it kind of stepping back with your blood just dripping from its mouth.
So I'd like to, if I can still do it, try to put my back as to the wall, like move as far as I can to the wall, and try to aim towards a spot what I think would fall if I were to shoot it, and then if I can still have the time, start to do some sort of distraction, unless that's too much to do on my.
What sort of distraction would you?
I guess I'll just start yelling at them. Just be like, over here, you beasts! Haven't you seen? I'm nice and meaty over here. Come and get some, you bastards! I'll be saying that.
Okay, all right.
My first attempt.
We will resolve that shortly. That was round 1.
That was the whole round?
That is awesome.
I don't like it.
I don't think we're going
round
to make it to
2.
round 3 or 4.
Round 2. I am
Fight.
now going to roll to see who is attacked. Nick.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. See you later, guys. It's been fun knowing you.
Yeah.
The people attacked are Nick, Arabella, Mr. Margrave,
That's fine.
and Dr. Clark,
Oh,
which will be
fuck
resolved
me.
based on your stealth roll.
Okay.
So we'll definitely come back to that. But Nick,
Yes. I'm
as
fine.
you're being held up by this creature, it is just like got this snarl on its face as your blood is just running down, dripping off of its elbows, and it is just looking up, almost like it's just waiting for you to bleed out. And when you're taking a little bit too long, it is going to kind of lower you down a little bit and attempt to just pull you apart.
No!
Oh,
How would you like to fight back?
does the vampire have nards? Can I kick him in the nards?
Interestingly enough, this one does, and
Nice.
sure.
What do I roll? Brawl?
That would be like a that one's a brawl. I forget what system we're running right now.
Didn't do it.
Fuck!
57 over 30.
All of you
Like this.
watch as Nick McKay is lowered down just slightly, and you hear just a slight crunch and a movement of flesh as Nick McKay is ripped apart,
Oh my god.
Mr. McKay!
split open, flesh slopping down to the ground.
No!
Arabella.
So, question.
Yes.
Is seeing Mr. McKay ripped in half, especially because I saved him earlier, like pulling him back up, like kind of thinking he was like falling out of like the plane of the balloon, is seeing him ripped in half enough of a trauma to knock me out of being outside my goddamn head?
I will say absolutely 100% it is. And there's this moment where you are exactly where you think you are, and then when you turn, you see Nick standing, right beside you, and then suddenly is just ripped in half by nothing, and that is what snaps you back into you're not where you thought you are. You were in a cave system somewhere.
Okay. I kind of like stumble for a second and say, Rory? Mr. McKay! And I draw my weapon and I'll fire at whatever the nearest vampire happens to be.
The one that ripped him in half is standing like not too terribly far from you at this point. You just turn and go ahead and fire.
Okay, that definitely passes. It's not hard or extreme, but it passes. It's a 34 under. I want to say I have 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll that damage.
It's gonna be 6.
Okay. Yeah, so you fire and it slams into him again, and there's this point where he's already got like a few different wounds on him currently, and you see him stumble backwards a little bit. He still has pieces of Nick's rib cage in his claws, and as he stumbles back, you see him turn and begin just kind of like slithering back towards the dark corner that he had retreated to before. This was the creature's turn to attack Arabella. I rolled a 99%, which is why Arabella is able to get this shot off. It is also Mr. Margrave.
No!
But before we resolve that, we are going to actually go to Dr. Clark.
Yeah.
So, you duck down behind one of these rocks, and you hear the chaos happening. You hear flesh ripping, you hear bones cracking, you hear creatures screeching, you hear the pattering of their feet, of their wings scraping against the dirt here. And you see Annie and Mars ducking down, basically like on a boulder across from you. So you're able to see each other and you're both still kind of hiding from the scene. They duck down and you see Mars turn her head in your direction and stiffen with wide eyes. And you feel just a drip of saliva down on your shoulder. And as you're looking up, you see this creature peeking over, looking down at you. And as it goes to lunge, you hear a gunshot. And the gunshot slams into the side of this thing. It kind of like, just the impact pushes it enough to where it's kind of fallen and rolled off the rocks. And you see Mars standing there. And as it rolls off, she fires again and it hits the rock. It just hits the rock and ricochets off, but you see the creature scurry backwards, and then you see Mars get slammed into by another one of these creatures, slammed up against one of the walls, and that is where we are resolving that turn temporarily. Mr. Margrave, make a persuasion roll. Seems like a weird thing to say
Well, I mean, I
in
actually
this
do
situation
have
right now, but
I do have persuasion, so this is good. Unfortunately, I did succeed. That is just a normal success, 34 under 60.
great. Are you fucking what?
Yes! Yeah, I hope that's good.
Mr. Margrave, make a shooting, or make a whatever the fuck it's called in this
Make a
game.
fuck check.
Firearms or something.
Yes, I would be glad to make a firearms check with Mr. Gibbs here, my elephant gun. I did not succeed.
All right, that was just to see if something really cool was gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's not. But
Can I use luck on it? No, I can't.
yeah, not this one. So what happens is you are shouting and with all the chaos that is happening around, you do see at least 3 of these figures turn towards you, towards your yelling, and they kind of scurry around at the same time in almost like a just like pack sort of tactic going on here. And as they're moving, there's a moment where they cross right into place with the debris above you.
Damn it.
There's a moment where you think about, one is lunging towards you because this is the turn where you are being attacked. So one is lunging towards you and you move your gun away from that one to fire up at the ceiling to hit that one loose part. Fire at that. As you do, the loud gunshot echoes throughout this chamber. Go ahead and roll dodge. Just real quick.
In a way, I'm wondering, can I do fight back and try to fire at that thing again? That spot? I if it still makes sense in the scene.
The firing at that is going to work, just not for the one that is lunging towards you.
Okay,
so
cool.
this roll is going to be for the one lunging towards you.
Cool, I would do the dodge.
Actually, yeah.
Ooh! This is a good dodge. Hard success. 11 under 50.
11 under 50.
Almost 6.
Make a I know I'm making you roll like 1,000 times. Make a luck roll real quick.
Oh yeah! Okay, cool. So that's a 20 under 36. I'm succeeding.
Great.
I'm succeeding.
So what happens here is you see the one lunging at you and you're like, I gotta take these other 3 out. So you raise up the gun, fire at the ceiling. The echo blasts out and you hear the rocks beginning to shift in that exact area. And as this one lunges towards you, you put your gun, like blocking it. it slams into your gun and then you kick it. You like Sparta kick it with your other foot. It stumbles backwards just in time to be caught in this debris as the debris is falling down, slamming down into 4 of these creatures now.
Yes. I say, not today, kitty, and I push it away.
Iris,
Yeah.
what would you like to do? Keep in mind this turn is also going to, you'll have to roll to see if you're staying conscious.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my con check right now.
Okay.
Because I don't have a collarbone. Which collarbone got pulled out? Right or left?
Left.
Left? Alright. I'm right.
You are all right, because that's all you have left.
Oh my, I succeeded. I'm still awake. In that case, I will try to find my sword.
Okay, I'll say, there's so much adrenaline surging through your body right now that, like, you know that should hurt a lot, but there's just kind of this survival instinct, and you sit up and you start looking around. You look like something from, like, a Halloween store, basically, right now. You're looking around. You do see your sword. You're in a pool of your own blood. You can kind of move over and grab onto it if you'd like.
I pull myself over to it, rub my bloody hands off on my clothes, so it won't slip off of my hand, out of my hand. I pick my sword up, and I look for who's closest to me out of my friends.
I think Arabella is actually probably the closest one to you right now.
How can I help you?
Give me a collarbone! Amazon, right now, Alexa! Collarbone!
It's my servant, Mr. Hobson has come
He came
to
down
save
from
us.
the service.
Got a rocket launcher. Thank you, Mr. Hobson.
I'll, if I can, if there's nothing blocking my way, I, with my sword, will move to Arabella. I just put the sword, and I hold it to give it to them, sort of deal. I guess they don't have the sheath, but I just kind of push it onto them so to take it. And I'm like, make sure the Belrose name leaves this place, continues, take it back to my family, or sell it for a lot of money. Either or. It's use it for your books.
People are getting ripped apart. We hear sell it for a lot of money. What the hell? Mr. McKay is dead.
Send some money to McKay's family.
Just pay off my student debt, I'll be fine.
Alright. We are up to Dr. Clark and Arabella. What'd you like to do?
Mine's simple. I want to sneak over to where Annie is, trapped behind that boulder, and I want to sit next to her and hide this turn, knowing full well that Mars is over there, but I want to make sure that Annie's okay while Mars is doing the badass shit she does.
Okay. All right.
Do you need another stealth roll?
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth roll.
All right, a 25 under 50.
Okay. Yeah, you find you don't have to necessarily be as quiet because there's so much noise happening in here, so you focus more on the speed and you get over there before you're pretty sure before you're noticed by anything or anyone. Arabella.
I just wanted to check, is Iris dead or is Iris just fatalistic?
Iris looks like she should be dead.
There's so much blood pouring out from my collarbone, from the ear, just it's not stopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not stopping because there's no bone there to stop it.
Yup.
I have an absolute clown nonsense idea, which is that Iris is also really short. I turn to Iris and I ask her, Iris, can you boost me? If I use your sword, I might be able to climb, and I might be able to get out of here and to get us help. Iris, can you boost me?
Just looking at you wide-eyed. Anything for you, my friend. Like, pale face, just like all the blood leaving her chest.
I will say, as a part of Arabella's turn, Iris, make a strength roll.
You got it. 40 strength. Let's go.
Do it.
I got 21.
Oh my god.
Should I do a penalty die? Since I'm
Nah.
like, okay, cool.
Nah. The power
Great.
of friendship.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cthulhu friendship.
Iris will kind of like get down. Probably, is it like the one knee sort of situation boost sort of thing here, or?
Yeah. Whichever is, I would say I'd probably have to.
Yeah, I think so.
That I don't think I'd
So
be able
you-
to do it. Yeah.
You're putting every ounce of your strength into this. I'm gonna say you push up as hard as you can to give Arabella this boost. I am going to say, however, that you fall unconscious after doing so.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh yeah. I'm pretty
slump
sure
over.
the as the force of trying to boost,
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure that Arabella, your do you have pants on, or like
Yeah.
whatever you have on is now drenched in my blood, because as it's just so
Yeah, the force that
It would just-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
put me in one of your books.
The mystery
Arabella?
must be solved.
Gonna have you make a climb roll.
Man, I knew we were coming down into caves, and I still didn't take climb. Like,
I'm good.
Me
13,
neither.
20.
Yeah!
Oh!
All right.
Yes.
Hell yeah! Oh my god.
At this point, Vivi, would you like to describe your entrance?
Sure. So, Vivi, I assume we're coming out of part of the cave
Yes.
Not a
area.
vampire.
She is wearing a blue pinstripe shirt that has definitely seen better days, and a white apron, seen better days. It's got some blood smeared on it, along with some dirt. But these clothes don't look modern. They definitely look several decades older, like a different style. Her hair and makeup is just a mess, and she has just kind of a blank look on her face. Like, it looks a little confused, but also just not, like what she's seeing is not what's in front of her exactly.
And would you like to do anything this round?
So, she sees this chaos, and she has this mirror that she's been carrying. I think it's a fairly good size one, and as who's the closest to her?
I think the closest conscious body to you
No.
is Mr. Margrave.
Does she see Iris's body? Is that closer to her, or?
I will say you can see Iris's body, and you can see what is left of Nick's body. Two bodies slam down. You see also a second cave-in seems to have happened, and you see different wings kind of like moving underneath, like trying to still get up and push out of this cave-in.
All right. So she's going to go to Margrave and be holding up the mirror like toward her that he's facing off against.
Okay. Yeah, so you rush over, kind of shoulder up beside Margrave and just
What the hell? Who in God's name are you? What's happening?
It's fine. Just wait.
What? All right. You seem confident. Wait, so you're holding up a mirror? Like, how big is this mirror?
The mirror is probably like almost like torso sized. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like,
And you're like holding it up to me, or like pointing it
No.
at?
Towards the creature.
Ah, damn it. We didn't even try that. Awesome.
You didn't even have a mirror to try that.
I know. We
have
should have
the
found a
camera,
shiny
though.
rock.
I
Yeah.
wonder if the
Shiny
camera does
rock.
the same thing.
It's probably got some mirrors in it when it makes its picture of some sort.
Mr. Margrave, it is your turn.
I guess I look at this new person, and it didn't look like. Do I know where she came from? Is there like a tunnel, a secret tunnel that I haven't seen before, or something?
She came from darkness. You're not.
Oh, God.
You don't see like a tunnel or anything. It's too far.
Remind me, Vivi, what did you say exactly? Like, just did you say like calm down? What did you say again? Sorry.
I said just wait.
Just wait. Okay, interesting. I guess I'll just be like, wait for what?
Just. This'll work. Just trust me.
We have people in here that are in danger. What do you mean? Fine. And I'd like to any other monsters that haven't had things fallen on them. I'd like to try to do the same thing in a way where it won't fall on people around it. Like if there's monsters by itself moving towards someone else, I'd like to shoot at that.
Shoot at the monster?
Another cave-in, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna have you make an intelligence roll.
Oh, okay. That not my best skill. I actually succeeded. 40 under 45.
Okay, noted.
Bad idea.
Emily, would you like to describe your entrance?
Where am I? Am I also just coming from darkness?
You are coming from the same darkness that Vivi came from, yes.
Okay. So Emily is a sort of average height woman, in her middle ages. She's got a branch of some kind that she's leaning on a bit, and there's blood on her shoulder. She is similarly dressed, but instead of a pinstripe shirt, in a khaki-colored button-up that looks quite conservative, but has certainly seen better days. She comes into the room and stands behind Vivi, also behind the mirror, and just keeps an eye out behind her so that she can flag if anything comes from behind.
Dr. Clark, you have a very good view of, as you run over and you kind of like crouch down beside Annie at this boulder, you're looking back, you see this creature shove Mars into like darkness. It's just too far for your vision to see. Shoves Mars into darkness. You hear the gun like over and over and over. And then you hear whatever is happening in front of you. New voices. You're not entirely sure. There are new voices. You hear, just wait! And you hear Mr. Margrave's voice like echoing out.
Rambling.
Yeah. And then you hear that almost that same shriek that you had heard when the bigger creature was waking everyone up. you hear the same sort of shriek, and at this moment, you all hear the pattering of their feet and their claws hitting various pieces of earth and stone as you watch the creature run out of the darkness, basically like an all fours kind of run out of the darkness back towards the main area where Mr. Margrave, you get a good view of all of the creatures coming together. You want to fire a shot, but you know that is not stable, and you kind of lower it down a little bit. They're all gathering together, and then they run off towards the darkness where Vivi and Emily had come from. You are now alone in this tunnel. It is quieting. You can hear the echoed scurrying of the creatures moving down into a tunnel, and the floor is yours.
What the hell was that? How did that work? What? Everyone sound off! What? Gosh, Mr. McKay.
Is it over? Did we make it?
See if Iris is still breathing.
Sure, yeah. You rush over to Iris. At this point, too, Dr. Clark, Annie just gets up and sprints towards the direction that she saw Nicole.
I'm gonna run after her if there's possibility.
Sure.
So I first rolled a 49. That's a success, and then I re-roll this one. That one is worse. So I'll take my 49.
Okay.
Which is just a regular success.
Okay. There is still life. But there is an entire chunk of like the collarbone and pieces of the rib cage just missing. There is just a cavity here where blood is pooling. You see muscle, you see just ripped tendons. I would say with that you could stop the bleeding because it more comes down to a decision on what the next course of action is. Yeah, Dr. Clark, you rush over and Mars has the light, but whenever Mars was shoved backwards, the light was dropped. So when Mars was shoved back, Annie ran forward without even thinking about grabbing the light. So as you're rushing forward, you just lean down, scoop up the light, and flip it in that direction. And as you do, as you're putting the light up, you see Annie's legs, and as you're panning up, you see Nicole, and they're just hugging each other. Nicole is alive, but you see a massive amount of blood down one whole side of her face.
We're alive over here. We're okay. We have both the Mars. We need to regroup. We need to get back together.
McKay's dead.
As Vivi is checking over Iris, she'll ask, how many of you are there? How long have you been down here?
I first I guess look up and be like, where's Earhart?
So at this point, Arabella, you climbed up some of these rocks. You're not able to climb up into the hallway that you were in before because that entire hallway crumbled down, but the way that the debris is built up, you can kind of climb up basically to like the edge of it to where you could probably reach that door handle to get through that door to the other side. But you do hear everything that happened down below. You know the creatures have rushed away, and you know that Iris is possibly being tended to. And I will say the rest of you, the Marses and Dr. Clark, you're all able to kind of group up in the same center chamber. You do hear slight noises coming from the tunnel where the creatures retreated. You don't get a feeling that they're coming back, but you hear Nick McKay's voice coming from down the tunnel.
I turn towards these new people and be like, well, there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
there were 9 of
6. Originally there was 9 of us, and I guess now we're down to 5.
Nicole Mars kind of stumbles over. You see a set of twins coming over. One of them is now just bloodied all across the side, and she comes over and she's looking at Vivi and she's looking at Emily. You're not part of my team. Who are you?
That's a long story. My name is Emily O'Hara. This is Vivi Dolman. We were shipwrecked, if you will. She looks down at her clothes and then at the rest of you that are dressed very weird. A while ago, I suspect. Yes.
At the island? At this island? Yes.
Yes, our ship was lost, if you will. I suppose it wouldn't sound too out of left field if I told you, given what you've seen just now. Someone called Dr. Glass asked for our assistance in helping find a cure for his wife. She was very ill, and well, it was as if we lost time, I suppose. Our ship disappeared out of our journey, and something dragged us down into the darkness. The rest of our crew was lost, but the two of us managed to swim over here to the island, and we've been wandering ever since.
When did you crash here? Some sort of fun party boat dressed very strangely. When did you...
1922.
You...
You must be confused.
You've been shipwrecked for 40 years?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Did you crash when you were babies?
No, I'm, wait. What year is it for you? How long have we been here? You said 40 years.
1960, right?
65.
65. 1965.
No, that's absurd. We left in 1922. I mean, I was in New York not 6 months ago. I saw the...
Carrie, do I still have my wallet on me or something like that in my pockets?
Yeah.
I'm going to take out my wallet. I'm going to take out my Oregon identification. I'm going to pass it over to her. Look, I've been having a tough time believing any of this, but look at that. Look at my birthday.
She goes to grab it from you, and then she kind of removes her hand without actually making contact. Oh, you know, there was a room on the ship that I'm not even sure where to begin. I want to say I believe you, but I also don't want to believe you.
Well, there's a lot of things that are hard to believe in this place, I'll say that. You know what, perhaps let's leave the strange timing behind us. First of all, what is that mirror thing that you drove the monsters away? They've been assailing us the entire time we've been in these tunnels. What? How?
They don't like mirrors.
That's it. God. This whole time? Fucking mirrors this whole time?
Oh. You're telling me. We broke one on our ship. Almost the death of us. Well, certainly the death of at least one of us.
Did these things come onto your ship? That's how you were stranded?
Dr. Glass's wife was afflicted with whatever creates these creatures, we think. We're not sure. Vivi is more the health person of the two of us.
Wait, so it's a disease or something? I look towards Vivi.
It's contagious.
I didn't get a chance to study it too much. I was working on Mrs. Glass, but it was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. She was pale, she was weak, and she needed blood transfusions, a lot of blood transfusions. And We thought we had enough for the journey, but her need became more and more. And when I met Emily here, she actually took to drinking the blood straight from the IV. My help was no longer needed in the capacity as her personal nurse.
I can see.
Oh, so this Doctor and Mrs. Glass are the people that brought you here. Is that correct?
We were heading for Africa, I believe.
We're on
We didn't see
Mangala,
where.
an island.
You're kidding.
No.
It's an island that was removed from the maps, but recently chartered back to off of a criminal case. But yes, Mangala.
That was the name of our ship.
This is
Yeah.
too strange. Where are this Dr. Glass and Mrs. Glass now? What happened with you all? We were just traveling through these tunnels and fell into this place. I gesture around, but we honestly have no idea what's going on besides some sort of weird rituals that had been taking place or something that this place was being used from long ago. The archaeologist, Dr. Clark and Miss McKay were more of that sort of experience, but that's all
Evie.
that we know.
Kind of looks over at Emily. Archaeology, you say?
Yes, I've studied my whole life since college.
Has he ever heard of me?
Oh, that's interesting.
Archaeology, say, have you read any of my books?
Well, Carrie, my history is in those who were anything to do with the occult archaeology.
I would say in this moment it hits you, and unfortunately you're gonna have to make a sanity roll for that.
Joe!
Uh,
Hell yeah!
I broke our new friend.
You're Einstein? Whoa.
Yeah, I fail.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You'll just lose one. You'll lose one sanity for that. That's not the weirdest thing you've seen today.
You're my idol.
Your books? Your Dr. Emily O'Hara. Are you?
Yes.
I read you in my junior year.
I feel weird saying this, but I'm glad I wasn't forgotten.
Forgotten, you basically framed a portrait of my career. Oh my god. What are you
She
doing?
wipes a
down
tear.
here?
The ship wrecked, as I said, and we swam until we found land.
They wrote you off. They wrote you off as dying of natural causes.
Bastards. Nope. Still here. Still same age I was, apparently, when I disappeared, which was, well, not how I'd hoped to be spending my 70s. Anyway.
Can Arabella hear this from where I am?
I hope
Yes.
so.
Yeah, you're basically like right above them.
Okay, so it's no trouble for me to come down. Am I high enough up that I could jump, or do I need to climb back down?
Climbing down's a little easier. You can just kind of scoot down some of the boulders. I'll say, yep, that won't require a check or anything. But
Okay. Before I do that, I would like to, kind of not call out, but like say loud enough that my friends can hear me. I think I'm hearing voices again. Can you all sound off? I need to hear that you're okay, Dr. Clark.
Hold the torch
Iris.
up. Hopefully she
Monty.
can see us.
We're down here, Arabella. Can you hear us?
Yes, is everyone okay? Iris? Dr. McKay? Iris?
Iris is doing fine, and Mr. McKay unfortunately didn't make it. Miss O'Hare, Miss Dorman, is there any way out of here? We should probably walk and talk. I don't know how much you know about those monsters, but is there any way out of here? We need to get out.
there was a way out of here, don't you think we would have gotten out of here?
Well,
They're trapped down here the same as us.
do you have a map? Do you know at least ways that we're not supposed to go? Anything like that?
Before we walk and talk, as you say, we need to discuss your friend here. I assume she is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Yes, she's my best friend.
She is alive, but it doesn't look good. I can do what I can, but moving her is going to be rough.
I'm stronger than I look. I can carry her. I can.
Hey, come
can
over
support
here.
her.
I'm okay.
Mr. McKay?
He's
I
not
shake
here.
my head.
Arabella, he's not here.
It's
And-
his voice.
It's just like before. It's just like before. And it's going to continue to be like before. We
What is
can't
the
move
message?
her. You think we could climb this wall the same you did with a body weighing us down?
It was easy. I can do it again. I can get out. I'm stronger than I look. I'm stronger than I look. I'll go back to the boulders in the first cave collapse. I can move the boulders. I can get out. You said all we need is mirrors. I can bring back enough mirrors for everybody.
I don't think we're going back, Arabella. Not that way. And if I'm being honest, really, truly honest, I don't think Iris is coming with us. She would want you to get out.
It's just a short climb.
Miss Dorman, are you a doctor?
Not a doctor, but a nurse.
Is there something that we can do, at least for the time being?
Listen, this is a tough conversation. I understand why we have to circle, but these two women have been trapped down here with them for God knows how long. And this is where we've seen them. But up there in those rooms, for the most part, we were safe. And if this is what we were talking about earlier, Mr. Margrave, Miss Earhart, this isn't a sickness so much as a pact, a promise they've made. And if we have any shot at ending it, we need to find a way of counterspelling it, of recreating what they did in reverse, of shunning away whatever disease this is so we can have any chance of exit of this place. I don't see how we don't go through that door, and I don't see how we do it with Miss Belrose. I'm sorry.
I think... Miss Dorman, is there a way that we can wake up Miss Belrose? I think we should leave it up to her.
I can probably get her awake. I can't speak to her coherency or what she will see. She might be delirious from the pain or from the shock to her system. She might be shell shock. I've seen it before.
Well, I know if it were me, I'd at least like to go out with a gun in my hand.
We're robbing her of a peaceful goodbye to wake her up, to tell her we're leaving her?
Would you rather her leave her to be fed upon? She's sleeping on the floor, Dr. Clark?
I know that it is not sympathetic of me to say, but yes, if that meant that we all get to live on in her name. If it means we get out of here and stop whatever the hell is happening in this cursed place, then yes. We drug a body not 2 rooms ago through a mile of this cave system. Mr. McKay is cut in fucking half. Yes, yes, I would.
And you see Mars has her gun aimed at Iris.
Wait, like she already shot?
Executed through the head.
What the fuck, Mars?
Let's go.
God. I thought I was...
Mr. Margrave,
Wow.
have you any experience with war?
Just a personal one, I guess. Not necessarily.
Unfortunately, in war, you have to make hard decisions, and not everyone gets the ending that they want. And it's very rarely a peaceful one.
Yes, I had my experience of hard decisions. I just didn't think folk like you all would be so cold. So be it.
And with that, you, as a group, struggle, climb up these rocks. You get up to that door. You see Mars visibly just has a clenched jaw right now. Like, that is not something at all something Mars wanted to do, and it is clearly obvious on Mars's face. And as she climbs up, you get up to the top here, you open up the door, and the way the rocks are piled here, you have to kind of climb through in order for the next person to come up. So one by one, you all file into this room. It's dark, and as your light sources are coming in, the entire room has a red glow as every inch of the floor, every inch of the walls, every inch of the ceiling are covered in blood. As you step down, there's like an inch of blood that you're sloshing into. It smells.
God.
You walk in, and Annie immediately, you hear her kind of gag, and she just kind of covers her nose.
I know this is retroactive, but I would at least like to close McKay and Belrose's eyes, and I don't know, like put something over them before we leave.
Yeah,
I'm
easy,
a hunter,
easy
but
enough.
They should have dignity at least.
Yeah, it's like you gotta climb like a 2x2 sort of thing. So if you were like the last one out, you would easy enough be able to set something up. Do you take anything off of them, like for like a token? Like, I mean, Arabella has Iris's sword.
Probably get McKay's shotgun, I guess. I don't know if they have like any sort of wallet or anything on any of them, just to like, I don't know, some sort of keepsake, like evidence that they were here and died or something like something quick. Or if McKay or Belrose, if you have something of significance that would like stand out while I'm looking at your guys' bodies, is there anything that?
The only thing well, I mean, she has a money clip with let's see how much money she actually has on her person.
Oh yeah, I do not care about the money.
$1,800.
Wow. I'm a millionaire, so I throw the money on the ground.
$1,800 just soaked in blood.
Yeah, there's the camera actually. The camera.
Oh, okay. I'll take the camera, I guess.
Okay.
Give it to someone.
And like all the photos that are blank or have nothing. Because sad.
Does Nick have anything like?
Yeah.
A wallet, maybe?
He probably has a wallet on him in his jacket pocket or something. But the only thing he had on him, other than the supplies that came with him, was his shotgun and his 9mm.
Okay.
Is there a photo in the wallet of you and a family member or something
No,
like that?
I was a graduate student, not even a graduate sweetheart. I was just
cool. I feel like I
was
opened
just a nerd on a trip.
I feel like I opened the wallet a bit hesitantly, and I'm like, no, thank God.
Oh good, he died alone.
Oh good, I'm glad he died alone.
Can Arabella? I won't go to the bodies. I don't want to take up too much time. But I think Arabella kind of like whispers something into the darkness at her friend. And if it's okay with you, can I just send that privately to the 2 players?
Yes, go for it.
While she's whispering to Nick, she does hear his voice down the hallway again. Hey, I'm right over here.
While we're maybe climbing up, is it okay if I ask O'Hara and Dorman, do they know why they hate mirrors? Like any other information that they've learned about these creatures while being here? If we can, I mean, maybe Dr. Clark would probably do this, like just sharing information, seeing if there's anything that we've missed that like overlaps or something.
Go for it. You got it.
On the ship and prior, Dr. Glass had some, it sounds familiar from what you were describing, some occult things. That he'd summoned some kind of power. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to take a close look at the papers, but it seemed like he brought it upon himself, as cross as that seems to say.
It seems that we've tracked around the same information, Dr. O'Hara. I'm sure that you're at least partly familiar, but this was a ritual put together to bathe themselves in blood for an old god, an ancient one. They reference in some of, well, I would say Mr. McKay, but he does deserve that doctorate. Dr. McKay translated for us earlier in a former room. We believe that they made a pact with this ancient one. In feeding whatever this beast was, they gained power in return. A sort of self-sacrifice was described in the hieroglyphs.
That sounds accurate, based on what we saw as well. It's... I don't want to say it's good to have it confirmed, because that's awful, but...
At least to have some awareness, some idea of where we're going. And
indeed,
similar to your work in the Antolian investigations and your work with Hattus's Lower City Temple, this in itself is a lost temple. This is to some ancient civilization of which I could not decode. It's not anything I've seen of the African nations or anything leading back to the first civilizations, but they constructed this temple into the face of the rock for immediate purpose. It must have been in allegiance to this dark god. And this is where they perform the rituals. I think that this room, I think it has to be where it happened. Dr. O'Hara, Ms. Dorman, we believe we were sent here. We believe that active cells of whatever cult is running this temple, or at least inspired by it, sent direct coordinates to Miss Mars's organization, and I point out the twins, for an investigation that turned into a full team going missing and now ours being subjected to the same fate.
I look at the twins. What is it that you do exactly?
You see the one that's injured kind of laughs, like almost just like Margrave just now. Like she just laughs and puts her head in her hands. Almost like a it doesn't even fucking matter now sort of like demeanor. Like she's just laying there. You see her like holding some sort of cloth to her neck to stop any bleeding that may be happening. And Mars Corp, we ensure safe travels. Yeah, I see the irony, I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What an interesting group to point in the direction of a thing that is so blatantly dangerous, though. What a choice.
And at this point, Annie gets tired of the darkness and sees one of those like metal wall sconce sort of things, lights it, and like immediately wishes that she didn't, because the glow, like the mirror, the reflective surfaces are covered in the red blood, and it just gives the whole room just this nasty, deep red glow to it as they're trying to reflect from one to the other, and you can just see how much just gore and blood is covering every inch of this room.
Very quickly, while they're having that conversation, I would like to sort of turn to Miss Earhart, who, what's your demeanor right now, Arabella? Probably not that great.
It's the keeper's discretion to call for rolls, but should I tell Monty how I'm feeling, or
I guess what does it appear to look like?
really fucking angry?
Okay, cool. I'll sort of walk up next to you, kind of like look down, like a bit fatherly concern, if that makes sense. I know you're mad right now, and it's... He just sort of shakes his head. That's stupid. Miss Earhart, I know you're an author. You read books. Is there any sort of to know these monsters? Maybe there's something that that we've seen before that can help us. I remember in my boyhood, perhaps reading that vampire book. I can't remember the name. Some sort of truth with these mirrors that they have. Perhaps there's other hidden gems. Are you familiar with that sort of fiction or something? Maybe there's something that can help us there. I'm trying to maybe focus our mind, maybe try to focus that anger on something and see if maybe we can find some sort of thing that might be helpful in vampire lore, quote unquote.
Is there anything else that I would have remembered from what my dead friend, one of many dead friends now, thanks to Mars, has told me that I might recall?
As for like stereotypical vampire lore sort of stuff, you can know whatever you want because it is, I mean, free knowledge basically, but is it true? You don't know. I would say other than that, it's really hard to make comparisons when you just saw them for 30 seconds and they killed two of your friends, basically, like ripped one in half in 2 seconds. So.
Monty, I don't think I really know much more than you do, to be honest.
Well,
but what I do know is that there are multiple pairs of very, very good collarbones in this room, and I know if it is between you and me, and well, Dr. Clark wanted Iris dead, so it might just be you and me. I know who I might be aiming at with my gun next.
Let me ask you, Arabella, are you keeping your voice down, or do you mind being heard?
I think I have the wherewithal to keep my voice down.
Okay.
Look, I don't know if it will come to that, but let's... Vampires from books, stakes, holy water, mirrors. Maybe there's any other things I'm forgetting. Maybe we can try to focus it. Let's try to focus on staying alive. All right.
And while these ramblings are happening in the corner, the room is lit up enough now where all of you standing in this doorway, you see an archway on the other side of it. You can't quite see where it's going to lead to, but it almost looks like it's a lit room.
So just to be clear, we haven't crossed the threshold into this bloodbath room, right?
You have crossed into the doorway just because the other side of the doorway is what fell. It is what collapsed and pushed all of these people through. So you are standing in the room, yes. But I would say just inside, basically.
We haven't invited them in.
I will say to Monty, like whisper it. I can't promise I'm not going to do something stupid, but I'll tell you when to duck if I do.
I don't know if I have time to react just quite yet.
I'm gonna do one of them good old-fashioned Call of Cthulhu rock checks. I'm gonna pick up a rock and toss it at the ground in the room. Just testing out the floor because the last one fucked us over.
Hell yeah.
All right. I hate you for this, just so you know. You grab a rock and you toss it, and it disappears in a pool of blood.
Well, they're not in short supply of blood.
And at that discovery, too, Mars kind of steps forward a little bit, is like testing with her feet, just kind of like barely putting down her toes, and there is a few feet before it drops off into some sort of massive pool of blood.
Okay.
And she just looks back and says, "Good fucking call."
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Margraves, I know that the temperature in this room is not suiting all of our temperaments, but do you mind if I borrow your cane for a moment?
For what?
I'm going to see how deep the pool is.
I'll do it. You can see that he's holding onto it rather tight. It seems very sentimental to him. So he'll just sort of like hobble up and I guess just kind of like look at you kind of for instruction, kind of like what, like, were you going to drop it or you just like kind of like
just
poke
push
down?
in. I don't see any reason for you to lose your cane. Let's see if we can hit the bottom with your arm's length. And I'll hold onto his back and I'll put my hand out to somebody else in the doorway because God knows we've lost enough people today.
Yes. So yeah, I'll just as quickly as I can, bloop, and then back up.
A little oil check.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start dipping this cane. The cane goes all the way down to your knuckles, and you still haven't touched the bottom.
Take it out. Did not find the bottom there.
And you hear drum, drum.
I back away.
So does Mars. At the same time, like
yeah.
you're like, okay.
I sort of switch my gun around to the front side. Is there like side paths? Is this, or is it just like?
You have not tried yet. I will say though, it's kind of a funny sight because you watch as that noise comes up. Margrave and Mars both take a step back, and the guns immediately come up and aim towards the pool.
You said the walls are mirrored reflective?
No, the walls are covered in blood. The like wall sconces, they have that little like reflective surface to kind of bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are all covered in blood as well.
Got it.
Ooh. Actually, sorry. I want to go up to the wall, just kind of like wipe off the blood real quick and see if there's something behind the
as you're wiping, it is like wet carpet.
You know, what?
Rape, and you're like, you immediately take your hand away, and it's just like as you wiped this off, you can see like it almost looks like veins and muscle all stretched across. I'm gonna have to have you make a sanity roll for that one.
Oh, I succeeded.
Okay.
I have very low sanity too, so this is
Yeah, so you don't lose any sanity. You do kind of gag a little bit, and there's like this desire to get this off of your hand, but you're
So nothing is behind it, or is it like flesh?
It kind of feels a little fleshy.
What in God's name?
Come sit at my table, touch my flesh wall. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carrie. But as for what you asked earlier, if you do kind of start feeling around, there is like a walkway. It seems like this blood pool is in just the center of the floor. You can, being careful enough because of that damn rock, walk around and not fall into the pool of blood.
Is there tunnels in here?
There are no tunnels. You don't see
Okay.
any tunnels, but
Okay.
you see just that archway on the other side.
Okay. Well, it seems there's probably a path around. I guess the only thing to do is keep moving, I suppose.
You
Yeah.
can
Go on.
easily scurry around. It's like a kind of a 1x1 just to make sure you're not going to fall in or anything, stepping in each other's squished footprints, basically. And as you make it around to the other side, you head in, you walk through this
I got muted.
and you see you walk through just that archway on the other side, and as you head in, this room is pristine. It's clean. The bed is made, looks like a bedroom. Candles are lit for light in here. You see a window, a wardrobe, and a bedside table. The bed itself is one of those like 4-post beds. There are silk sheets. There is a small writing desk just inside the door to your right. Writing desk, 4-post bed, wardrobe, bedside table, window. The curtains are currently drawn, but it almost looks like daylight outside.
Does this room look like the rest of the temple?
Nope.
If I were to use like an intelligence roll or something, could I deign to understand what time period this is from or what style this is from?
Sure. Make an intelligence roll.
Okay. That's an extreme success. That's a 1 under 80.
Okay.
Everything.
Hell yeah.
You looking at like the carvings in like the bedside table, the design of the table itself, the desk being kind of the same way, this extravagant like 4-post bed. Looking at this, though you're not super well versed in like interior design or anything like that, you can still, it's still very clear to you that these were very fresh and new designs in like the 1920s.
This is completely out of place. Does this look familiar, Dr. O'Hara, Miss Dorman?
I mean, it looks like home, not literally mine, but... So, just to clarify my question, just in case, I looked around the room that I was in. When I jumped out that window, there was the bed and the side table and whatever, so it does not look like the same room.
There's something like eerily similar about it, but
Okay.
it's just like, it's kind of
It
like,
was dark and...
it's kind of like too when you wake up from a dream
Mhm.
and you slowly
Okay.
start to forget that dream. There's kind of like this familiarity to it, but
How is there a window down there? How is there daylight down here?
I have a suspicion. And I don't know quite how it would make sense, but none of this makes sense, really. When we were on that ship, one of the things I saw in the mirrors was the glass household where all of this started. There was a man with a gun, there was a basement, and there was a bedroom. I don't know if it was this one. It's hard to say, but I suspect if we go out that door, if we go down in the basement, if this connects to the house that this original room is from, perhaps we'll find where this all started.
You're telling me we're stepping into 1922?
Or earlier. This started before we got on that ship.
It's either that or because we did find that room on the ship that was not from 1922, that had strange music and everything. I don't remember. They had menus and posters that had the years. I think it was from the 1960s.
It was Under the Sea. From the Mars Corp? Was that you? I point to the Mars sisters.
At this point, Nicole turns towards you and says, Mars Corp wasn't founded that early.
And
It was a
no,
record.
not in the. It was on the ship in our time in 1922. We went into a room and there was a record playing music that we had never heard before. And when we looked at the record, it said 19. I don't remember the exact time, but it was 60 something.
It was Under the Sea. That was the name of the record. And then there were pictures of the ship going all the way around, over and over and over. There were whiskey bottles and wine with dates not just contemporary to us, but before and after.
So,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, so this may connect to the house or it may not. It may just be a room out of time, much like that room was out of time.
Only one way to find out. Are there any mirrors in here?
Oh, yes. We need some of those.
You do not see a mirror. You can check like the bedside table and see if there's any sort of like hand mirror or anything like that. At this point too, Mars is just standing there with absolute confusion on her face, and also at this point you kind of hear echoing from behind you. You hear Nick's voice and Iris's voice.
Shut the door.
Please join us.
I'll be there in a second. Can you come back?
And then the door closes.
I'd like to just start ransacking this room if I could. Just throwing stuff around, looking. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm just throwing around. Maybe someone else will spot it. But I'm just
Sounds excellent. So this room doesn't have much. So I'll say you won't even have to roll to search this room.
I would like to also look for gloves.
Okay.
I found her. I thought she was drowning. Face down in the crimson pool. When I pulled her out, she was smiling. I can feel myself slipping, my mind slipping. I think I'll taste it just to see.
God. I found one over here. Something. I am his vessel. The Ancient One's power flows through my veins. The ritual's finally complete. What is this nonsense?
Congratulations, Dr. Clark. Looks like you were right.
She partook.
I'm mad that you're right, but you're right.
So that room we just saw, that was where it happened, right? She laid down in the pool. She allowed the ritual to take her.
Must be.
Oh God. I think Clark is just distraught that he hates being right too. I think he goes over to the window and he's gonna open the blinds, and he just wants to feel the sun on his face.
Okay, so you open the blinds and you are looking into a living room. You look into the living room of a large house of some sort. You see couches, coffee table, tall walls, ceilings go up really high. You see a chandelier hanging in here. You see an archway that leads probably to some sort of entryway or something like that. And you see someone. It's like piece by piece, they're slowly coming into your vision. There are quite a few people standing in this room, and the attention seems to be drawn to you. And there's a moment where you're sure they're looking at you, and then you maybe move your hand or move a certain way and they don't react to it. And as they walk up, you realize they're not seeing you. and you see them kind of like knocking on the glass. You hear a very hollow like ding 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 ding. You see them kind of like touching, moving, you see them tugging, like trying to possibly get something off of the wall.
Do they look human? They look like us?
Yeah, they look
I'm gonna
human.
turn back to. Do you see this? Does everyone see this?
God. Nothing can be normal in this damn place.
I'm gonna knock on the window. Please, please, we're over here. We're on the other side. Please.
As you say this, it's almost like your voice comes back as an echo, but it's not your voice. You hear them say, and you watch as they, one of them has a cigarette. They blow smoke directly towards this window. You see it hit the window, but as it comes up, it comes through basically like a crack up at the top. Cigarette smoke starts coming in. And you hear one of them, he's got like a pencil thin mustache, as someone's kind of like pushing the smoke away.
This one's doctor recommended.
Is that the man that I saw shoot the mirror? Because the pencil thin mustache sounds familiar. Emily would remember, but for me it's been a couple weeks.
If that's PV, I'm gonna fucking riot.
And then there's this moment where you must all have blinked at once, but there's nobody behind the glass anymore. It's just an empty living room. Mars walks over to stand beside you, and she's kind of looking at the window. There is a latch, and it does look like it can open, but she just looks at you.
O'Hara, can you turn your mirror towards this thing real quick? Just test it out.
That's it.
You look at the window through the mirror. All right, you are looking at a mirror itself taking place of the window with a gaudy golden frame.
Well, don't know what the hell that means. Thank you.
Arabella's kind of had a hard afternoon. I'm gonna try to hit it.
Okay, so
specifically like with Iris's sword.
Sure. So Dr. Clark is standing here, Mars is standing here, and then suddenly a sword comes from between the two of you, slams into the glass. You hear the glass shatter. It shatters outward. You watch as glass just sprays in and covers the living room floor of this building. You now are clearly no longer looking at a window, but you are looking at a hole in the wall where a mirror is placed on the other side.
Fuck.
I'm sorry?
No, that was good.
Yeah, no.
Mars has like a question mark at the end of that sentence.
Yeah.
Could we go through? Could we find those people, do you think? Do you think maybe they were on the other side? Maybe we could get out.
At that, Nicole starts climbing through. You see, as she's pushing through, she kind of cuts part of her arm on the side of the glass and just pushes through. And once she reaches to the other side, she holds her hand out to start helping people through.
Is there another door in this room?
There's not,
and then...
as you're looking around as well, the door that you came through is gone.
Oh!
Fuck. Hey everyone, the door's gone. Hey O'Hara, can you turn the mirror towards that where the door used to be real quick?
There's no door.
Great. Okay, cool. All right.
This entire room, though, is... I was kind of waiting till the scene played out a little bit. This is going to require sanity checks for everyone.
Yeah, that tracks.
Woo!
Can Vivi look at as Emily is turning that around? Can she look, like at the room through the mirror? Like as she's moving around the room, like see the room reflected in the mirror?
I will say yes. But it takes like only, let me put it this way, only Vivi and Emily would be able to see in the reflection of this mirror that the room that you are in is just a cave.
What?
What? No!
What was everyone's sanity rolls?
I failed.
I passed.
I passed.
Failed.
Failures are going to be 3 points of sanity.
Oh my gosh.
Do you all climb through? Do you all climb through the hole in the wall?
I hang back.
Can I grab the duvet or like the bed covering and throw it over the broken glass first?
Sure.
I start climbing through the cave, climbing up. I start digging upwards and escape, and I go home.
Did it.
I'm
what do I have to roll for
gonna,
that?
I'm gonna wait until other people have gone through, and I think I'm just waiting on the other side, in the room that we were in, and I have my gun. And it's kind of, my hand is shaking. And I know I passed my sand roll, but I think this is probably the sanest Arabella's ever felt. Because she is so fucking angry. And all she wants to do is shoot Mars in the back of the head while Mars is helping people.
Are you going to attempt this? Or is it just a thought right now?
Only if someone doesn't stop me.
Can I make some sort of spot hidden maybe? To see if I notice this?
Honestly, if you want Margrave to notice, Margrave can notice. And Margrave is the only one that won't have to roll to notice that, only because that information was shared with you previously.
No spot crazy?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm trying to hide that I'm still angry and I'm still upset. I did literally just shove my best friend's sword through the mirror.
I'll maybe, as you're shakily maybe raising the gun, I was just kind of put my hand on it and it's not the time. Right? Way to get out of here. As I'm sort of looking around, even though I failed my sanity check, I'm to get out of here. Don't worry. The drums, you can hear them. It is fine. It's just a jungle. The cats that are after us. It's fine. Just keep going. It's gonna follow you, but you just have to keep going, alright? It's behind you, it can smell you, but it's fine! It's just... Think ahead. Yeah? Turn around. I think that works. That's I'm calming her down, but yeah.
Best pep talk I've heard today.
It was fucking horrible.
Yeah. I say, you hear the drums too? I can hear them as well. Deep.
I didn't hear the drums before, but maybe I do now.
No! Stop with the drums! There's no drums!
Focus on them. We'll get through it.
Focus on the drums.
I think I do what not only my character has been trying not to do, but also the player, me, VJ, has been trying not to do. And I start to cry and just kind of briefly put my head in the crook of Monty's shoulder.
Honestly, that's the only thing he doesn't know how to deal with. He's
There.
Tap with holding the gun, just...
All right.
This way, come on, Earhart. Nope. I keep walking.
All right, you have all climbed through this hole in the wall, and as you're kind of gathering in this strange living room, you're looking around. You see there's a door, an archway that probably leads to an entry room. There's an archway that seems to lead to a dining room, and then you smell the smoke. And you begin looking around, and it's almost how photo burns, how it's just slowly burning in. That's kind of what your vision is doing as you see the flames that are suddenly engulfing this room from this house that was set on fire. You quickly look back, and the hole in the wall you shattered to get in here is now a perfectly secure golden framed mirror. You see yourselves looking back at the mirror, and then as you go to glance back at each other,
Shit.
Arabella,
Shit.
you turn and you see that you're the only one in the room. And you start looking around, frantic for a moment. Monty was right beside you. And as you're looking around, you see that the doorway into the next room is instead a little doorway into the basket of a hot air balloon.
Mm.
You don't see anyone around you. There are no flames anymore either. What would you like to do?
Oh God. I feel like I have two avenues. Can I make a sand check to see which way I go?
Sure. Which one are you assigning to which?
Oh God. Pass. I try and stay like somewhat rational about what's happening, and I try to find my friends. Fail. I embrace the fantasy.
Perfect.
And I go into the balloon. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a hard pass.
Okay. All right, so you pry your eyes away from the hot air balloon, and you're looking around, you're looking through the room. You walk over to where the doorway just was for the dining room, and it is bricked off. It's just bricks. You turn and you look towards the window that seems to lead outside in this regular living room. You rush over, you pull open the curtains, it's bricks. And you hear a noise, and you kind of glance back over toward the hot air balloon, and Iris is standing in it. Iris, you are welcome.
You've already made me cry once tonight. Oh, fuck.
Let's go make another book. We need a story. Come on. You gotta finish it.
No, you're not real. I watched you die, and I left you once. You're not real. Monty? Dr. Clark? Can you sound off?
Did we hear her?
Monty?
It's just you and me. Come on.
You're not real. You're not real.
And you watch, Arabella, as Iris' hand is out. The longer you look at Iris's face, and there's this smile. But anytime you look away, out of the corner of your eye, you see the face twist. And then when you look back, it's right back to where it's supposed to be.
Is there any shard of broken mirror on the ground? Or can I make a luck roll to see if I grabbed a piece?
Sure, make a luck roll.
Double check, but I think that passes. Yes, yeah, that passes.
Okay. Sure, you have a little sliver of mirror.
Okay, I hold that up and see if I can look in it and see what's going on in this room with my balloon.
Okay, go ahead and make a sanity roll for me.
Ah!
Ordinarily, I'd ask Iris to blow into this too, but I don't trust you, babe. God, that passed by one.
Okay, so as you are looking through this reflective surface at the room, you see the room exactly as you see it. And you see Iris standing in the hot air balloon.
Oh, God. So I actually see her, well, but I don't because I see her face twisted.
And I'll say you see the face the same way in the mirror. Like when you're looking right at the face in the mirror, it's fine, but the moment you look away, the reflection starts to twist and turn and distort.
And there's nothing else that I see in the room. When I take the mirror and turn it around, I don't see any.
Oh, it all seems to be exactly the same. And Iris, at this point, you notice she has your sword.
You don't need to keep it safe anymore. Come on. You can bring it to me here, and I'll keep you safe while we travel the world.
Okay. I'm gonna explain what I want to do, and then Carrie, tell me if it's clown shit nonsense and I can't do it. I turn to Iris, and I stretch out my hand, and I say, okay, we'll travel the world in my hot air balloon, and we'll write all sorts of stories about Dr. McKay and our friends, and we'll give them the happy ending that they deserve, right?
Well, I know where McKay is. Come with me, I'll show you.
Dr. McKay's alive.
Yeah.
And I step forward, making like I'm going to like take her hand in mine, like we held hands before. And because I didn't fail that sand check earlier, I'm gonna shoot her with my gun.
There's a loud bang. Emily.
Yeah, huh?
You turn into this room and you see the sick room. You've been in this room before. And your heart immediately skips a beat and your stomach clenches as you look at the rotting corpse of the person sitting on the bed. They look over to you almost as if they were expecting you. And they sound sad, tired, and they say, please, I just need you to hold my hand, please. And they reach a dripping hand out toward you.
Is the door still, like I'm up against the door again? I was like,
you expect so. That's where you are locationally.
Gonna try.
You reach around and you feel wall.
Great. Blinds are closed.
You don't see a window.
Fuck. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. And she'll just like curl as like trying to disappear into the wall.
Yeah, you just sit back into the corner and you actually begin to feel almost like your pant leg sticking, like duct tape or something. Your pant leg sticking to the wall. And at first you're a little grossed out by this, but you look down and you realize it's just the fabric mixing in with the material of the wall itself. You were quite literally melting into the wall. And the figure stands up and says, please, and just reaches.
She can't. She just cannot. Is there any other than the clothes that I am currently wearing, like fabric nearby, literally anything that she could use to like cover her hands.
Make a luck roll.
All right, guys, I have to roll below a 6.
Oh no! Funk, man.
That's a 75. So it's a hard no.
Just made it.
Okay. How far away is the thing reaching for her?
They've stood up from the bed and they've taken a step. So their arm is reached out. They're probably maybe there's like a 10-foot distance between you.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. You see this person before you standing up. Not really advancing, but they've taken a step towards you. They're holding out their hand. And as you're beginning to disappear into this corner, you feel you can melt into this corner. You'll get away from this person if you melt into this corner.
Emily's gonna take the scarf that was once beautiful but is now sad and broken and wrap her hand so she won't be making physical contact, and grip their hand. Just step forward and like a handshake almost.
Okay, I'm gonna have you make a dodge roll real quick.
Ah!
Okay, that's probably a fail. Yeah. No,
all right,
that's
so
63 out of 37.
As you reach with this scarf and kind of grab onto the hand, they pull you closer, and their other hand goes up and touches your face. Just slaps right into your face. And there's a moment where this is it. You're done. Like, you can't handle this. You literally can't handle this. And that moment disappears like a flip of a switch. That moment's gone, and the hand doesn't feel so bad anymore. And as the hand is being removed from your face, you watch it as it's moving away. It's not decayed at all. And you watch yourself lower your hand. And then you hear shifting in the bed, and you look over and you see you sitting on the bed. I don't want to die alone.
I don't want to die at all.
Mr. Margrave.
Oh, fucking hell.
You turn and you're standing in a jungle. You hear the drums. And you hear the footsteps of the creatures you fought in the cave. There's 4 left. You hear them sprinting off. But you can track them.
I failed the sanity check, correct? I would like to track them.
All right, go ahead and make a. Is there tracking in this, or is it just survival?
There is track, also survival. I prefer track.
Yeah. Track is what I was going for. I just didn't know if that was this game.
Cool. Oh, success. 44 under 50.
All right, so you look over. You see just the sloppy marks they're leaving as you're following their trail.
I'll find them. And I'll find that beast. I just like kind of keep going forward, trying to keeping low, see if I can find them like feeding or stopped somewhere so I can get a good shot.
Yeah, as you head over, you do kind of there's a slight there's like this large twisted tree that you're able to kind of come up and kind of lean on. You look over and you see it's a bizarre sight because you've seen how these things move. But right now you see them kind of down on all fours, drinking from what was a river, but it appears to be a river of blood now. And you watch them drinking from this river of blood. You kind of take aim.
I'd like to, if possible, from the tracking, I'd like to see if maybe either wait to see if I can get one of them alone. Because I know shooting with all of them there is a bad idea. So if it's possible, I'd like to wait and see if I can track and get like one alone by itself. Because I know that's the smart hunter thing to do.
As you think that, there's a moment where you feel this like fogginess in your head, and you're forced to kind of rub your eye a little bit, and as you look back up, there's only one sitting at the river.
Excellent. Can I do an int roll?
Sure, you can give that a shot.
Oh, yeah, baby. There's a 19 under 45, so that's a hard success.
Okay. You are taking aim at this thing. You're looking, and there's another moment where you just have to kind of rub your eye a little bit, and as you open your eyes, you're standing in the entryway of the manor. And the hairs on your arm stand up. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
What manner?
Where you had walked in.
Okay.
Yeah. You're just not in that living room area. You're in like the entryway. You can kind of see the living room behind you. And as you're looking around, you hear a terribly familiar sound. And you look over to see the beast you've been hunting crawling down from the staircase. You see multiple arms, impossible mouths, an abomination, and your mind nearly breaks trying to think up how a creature like this could even exist, as you're getting a better look at it now, as its hands are gripping parts of the stairs, hands are coming out of mouths to kind of push itself further along.
I'm stepping back and I'm saying, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. And I'm gonna shoot.
All right, make a sanity roll first.
29 over 23, so very close.
All right, you are going to lose 2 points of sanity.
Excellent.
And fear grips you. This creature lunges, and you cannot fire.
No!
Vivi.
Yeah.
You're standing now alone in the living room. You begin to look around, and you hear wood creaking. It's not like that of an old house, it's like that of a ship. You hear it creak and groan. You just glance over to the window. You see the curtains are pulled, and you see about halfway up the window is water. Like half of this room is beneath the surface of the ocean. It's groaning, it's creaking, and you look over at the archway. And the archway is instead a door. It's an open doorway that leads to a familiar room in the ship. The room of Rowena Glass.
Is the door open? Like, can she see if... She looks around and doesn't see anyone else with her. I assume there's no other, like, behind her, the door's just gone, or the hole is just gone.
Yeah, though the mirror is there. You see yourself in the mirror now.
Is this a mirror that she can take with her? Like, can she try to pry it off?
It's pretty big. You walk over to it and it's like impossible to get your fingers behind it. It's almost like it is a part of the wall itself.
Okay. She'll stand there for a moment, just kind of thinking through the options, and then kind of draw herself up and head towards the door.
Okay. You head for the door. You kind of push it just barely to open up just a little bit more, and you see Rowena Glass tied to the bed as she was before. You see an IV in one arm. You see Dr. Glass sitting there like he was for all those nights, sleepless, tending to her, taking care of her, telling her that she's going to be okay. And then he looks up to you and he says, "She's going to be okay, isn't she?"
I don't know, Dr. Glass. I've never seen anything like this before.
He seems to accept this, and he turns and looks back down at her, and it happens slowly, and only out of the corner of your eye you see her form changing. You see wings spreading, skin just kind of drooping down before it turns into the actual wings itself. You see the neck kind of extending just slightly, teeth sharpening into fangs, until you see one of those creatures down below. She sits up. She reaches out and she grabs onto Arthur Glass's head and squeezes. You hear a pop. Blood sprays. And she looks at you and she says, "Am I going to be okay?"
Well, you did kill the only doctor in this room, Mrs. Glass.
And in one kind of swift movement, she's up, bounces kind of off of this bed, lands directly in front of you, kind of just brings her head down to just stare directly into your face. "Are you gonna run?"
I saw how running turned out for some other folks, both on the ship and elsewhere. I think the chances are about the same. I'd like to be like one of the brave soldiers and die on my feet.
There's this chuckle, this smile, and she says, "Oh, I've had the soldiers. They weren't that brave." And then you watch as one claw comes out and slams forward. Dr. Clark. You turn and you stand alone in the living room. Mars was just right beside you, and you're looking around. There's no more flame, but you see a man standing in the doorway that leads out to the entryway of the home. He has a pipe in his mouth and a fedora, and he's got a like jet black mustache. He's reading a book. He's got a book open in one hand, holding the pipe with the other. He looks over at you, and you hear just like normal sounds of the house. You hear a grandfather clock ticking. You hear some old music playing from somewhere off in the distance. And he just kind of notices you and glances over and kind of smiles and nods to you. Looks back down at his book.
Excuse me, have you seen any of my friends? We just came through here. We've been through a terrible experience. Can you show me where they came through? Twins, a famous doctor, a nurse. Please tell me you saw any of them.
He takes the pipe from his mouth and he kind of sets it on the book and he's like, "Oh, calm down."
There's this ridiculous hunter. He dresses like a fool, but he's incredibly brave. And a pilot who is an author. She flies. Please tell me you've seen any of them.
I can't say that I have. Dr. Arthur Glass, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he holds out his hand. He closes the book and he kind of puts it under his arm to secure it a little bit better. What is this you say about your friends? They came through when?
Just now. They came through just now. You said your name was Dr. Glass?
Yes, Dr. Arthur Glass. It is a pleasure to meet you. Go ahead and make a spot hidden roll for me.
Okay. A 42 under 75.
All right, your eyes flick down to the book that he's holding.
Can I take a real quick look around him in terms of just items in this room? Just so I have an awareness of what the room looks like before.
Yeah, I'll say easy enough. It looks a lot like you did when you stepped through it. Living couch, coffee tables, kind of a side table right inside the room. It's just it just screams money. Like it's very fancy in here. There's a lot of wasted space. You see rugs. But you don't see any other people. You can kind of hear like movement upstairs and occasionally you'll see like a servant kind of walking from one place to the other carrying various items. But as for things laying around, you don't really see anything.
Reverend Arthur Brooke, Winters Hall. A fascinating read, isn't it, excuse me, Dr. Glass?
And he kind of draws his attention back down to the book and he says, fascinating is a word for it. My wife is quite ill, you see. I've been trying everything, and I found this old book, and I've never believed in the superstitious stuff myself, but I thought I'd give it a shot. What could go wrong, you know? What do you believe, Dr. Clark? Do you believe in the superstitious?
I think that belief is a foolish thing that is an affliction of the human condition. But this is a recent belief, and again, means nothing.
He seems a little confused by this.
But my profession is one that deals in those books. Where'd you find that book, Dr. Glass?
I have many friends, and he just kind of looks, and he is actually now like turning for you to like see a part of it, like he's moving to a specific page, and you see there is one spot in this book that for some reason you can read completely clearly. And as he's flipping through this, he says, this part here, and he kind of points, and you look at a piece that talks about blood transfusions and curing ailments with basically transferring someone else's blood into your bloodstream in order to cure yourself of whatever affliction you had acquired. Again, it's some sort of like actual ritual you have to complete, and he points to this and he says, In what world would something like this work? And he's looking down, he kind of bites the pipe between his teeth.
You'd be surprised. Two of
You're
them, if things are to be believed. Do you mind? And I'll put my hands out for the book.
All right, so you're saying this isn't just made up to scare the naive.
Depends on how it's performed. By who? By fools with too much money, or idiots with perverted beliefs? All manner of fools can make it work.
Wow.
Do you mind? And I'll put my hands out again.
He shuts the book and says, perhaps I will give it a shot then. And you see him kind of put it behind his back, and the brevity hits you like a car sinking into like a body of water. Jolting, gradual, but quick enough that it's overwhelming. You told Arthur Glass that this could be done. This will encourage him to attempt the ritual in that book that very well may have started all of it. But you know, also with a sickening pit in your stomach, that it's already happened. You were meant to tell Arthur Glass that this stuff was real. You were always supposed to be here before you even knew it existed. And that thought begins to eat at your already loosened mind. For a moment, you want to say more, you want to reach out for this book, but Arthur Glass smiles at you and says, well, I appreciate your honesty, Mr. Clark. Right this way. And he leads you to the front door. He opens it, and he kind of pushes you out to let you leave. And he says, goodbye now, Dr. Clark. And please, do remember something for me? And he kind of waits for you to numbly turn back towards him. Remember 7349. Yes? And then he steps back, and the door closes. As it closes, you begin to hear the whooshing of fire. And you numbly turn, and you begin to walk down the sidewalk until a small, explosion of some sort happens from inside the house itself, and it pushes you onto your hands and knees on the sidewalk. Mars's voice is the next one, and the next thing that you hear. It's slightly muffled by your own heartbeat in your ears. You hear her pained screams as she screams Annie's name. She screams for Annie once, twice. You hear the tears. You look up, and she tries to run for the house, but the police officer comes and grabs her before she can, holding her back. She's screaming and crying. Dr. Clark, you look up and around at everyone else standing or sitting here with various wounds and the same defeated and exhausted expressions. You see before you Arabella sitting, knees up to her chest, slightly vacant expression. You see Emily standing numbly, kind of just hugging herself for a moment. You see Nicole Mars being dragged toward an ambulance and a police car. And near the ambulance and police car, you see 3 other people already sitting in the same style of clothing that you saw Vivi and Emily. You see a woman with blonde hair. It's kind of messy right now, hard to tell. You see a man that looks a little rough, blood all over him. Suit and tie, but really disheveled. You see another woman with black hair. It looks like it was maybe tied up, but it's a mess now. Whoever they are, they've maybe been through half as much as you. You sit there with your fellow survivors in a brief moment to kind of look at each other, catch each other's eyes before the paramedics will finish up with the others and come over to you.
You were right. You were right, Mr. Margraves. You were right. All of us were right. We were supposed to be here. We were supposed to be here. And I'm going to take a pen from my bag and I start writing that number all down my left arm.
Emily looks around at the cars that don't make sense, at the clothing and the feel of fresh air, and she just drops to her knees and sobs.
Arabella turns to Dr. Clark and says, Dr. Clark, the book. The book that I gave you. Before we entered the cave.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think we were meant to be here and to survive. Flip to the front page.
Take it out from my bag and flip.
The inscription that I wrote to Dr. Clark's niece is, I'll see you someday in the clouds.
You slowly begin to notice as you're all looking around at your surroundings, the house lighting up the night with its bright orange flames. You're looking at the ambulance and the police cars. And you begin to get a better look at the paramedics and the police officer. Strange haircuts. And the officer takes a device from his pocket and he puts it to its ear. And we see Dr. Clark, Arabella Earhart, and Emily O'Hara thrust into the year 2022. And this is where the story of the Glass Chronicles comes to a close. But trust me when I say this story is far from over.
We were supposed to be here.
Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.